Hello, welcome to NanoCAD Lesson 1. I don't want to waste time with any silly introduction. I just want to jump right in to show you some extremely useful information about using NanoCAD for architectural drawing. However, I'll mention two things, and they are that 1. I'm new to NanoCAD, and 2. Even though I'm new to it, I've learned some really useful tips that will help you massively in your drawing attempts. The end goal of this series is that I want to be able to use the free version of NanoCAD, NanoCAD 5 that is, to provide the local people an architectural service, an architectural design service. Also to help you and me use NanoCAD better right from the start. First of all, hopefully you've already downloaded and installed NanoCAD. But if you haven't, I have a video here showing you all of the steps of how to do it exactly and how to register your free license. The full process, step by step, without anything left out. Right here. Okay, when you open NanoCAD 5, you're greeted by this Get Started screen. The first time I thought you have to click this here, but this is the free trial for NanoCAD Pro or NanoCAD Plus. Don't click this, click this. Get Started. I'm gonna click this. Okay, when you open your first project, you might notice that there's no grid in the background. To get this grid to turn on and off, just come down here and select grid, which will turn it on and off. I like to have it on because it makes me feel as if I'm using AutoCAD. Okay, the next step is to check your snaps. I have all my snaps up here. You might not have it up here, and I forgot how I got them there. But not to worry, you can just come down here to OSnap, right click, and check all the ones that you want there. What I tend to do is I enable all of them, and if anything happens to annoy me while I'm drawing, I just turn it off. So, there you go. That's your snaps. To draw a line, and I'm sure you know how to draw a line, I just want to show you some tricks that I've learned with drawing a line. So you can either click line here, or you can type L on your keyboard and hit enter. And then you can just click somewhere and start drawing. Draw your line. You might notice there's a guideline that's appearing here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm just going to draw a square. Now, I can't tell how long that line is, I didn't check. But if I want to draw a perfect rectangle, I need to know where to stop this line. So if I hover my mouse here and drag it down, I have two guidelines helping me out now. And if that's not working for you, don't worry, I'll show you how to enable all of that. So I can click there, and I can click there. Another thing I can do is, if I draw a shape like this, I can hit right click and click on close, and it'll complete the shape. I never really check this, but apparently if you draw a line, down over here you can see the length of the line and the angle at which you're drawing the line. So if I'm drawing it like this, you can see that the length is 801 and the angle is at 0. If I move it, you'll see the angle changing. That might be useful to some. It'll be especially useful so if you were to enable multiple of these guidelines here, then you know which one you're snapping to by checking down there. So this is the 30-degree guideline. I might as well throw this in there, that when you draw with a line you can specify the length of the line, 600. Your number shows up down here. So whatever you type is showing up down here, not over here. So I can hit enter. 250, 600, and 250. Now this part is some basic stuff. You're probably wondering how I'm panning around. It's with your scroll wheel on your mouse, just click it and move around. And if you're zoomed in and you double click the mouse scroll wheel, it'll show up everything that you've drawn. If you happen to lose all your drawings into the abyss of darkness down there, like, we're never gonna find that no matter how much I zoom in. If I double click my mouse, there it is. So I'll never lose what I've drawn. Now there's this other way of panning around, but it's very unstable. Okay, I call it the pan of doom. What it does is it turns whatever you've done here into 3D. Okay, I'm gonna show you. If you hold down the shift button on your keyboard and then click your mouse scroll wheel and then just move around, it's turned into a 3D world. And you know what the worst part is? I don't even know how to get out of here. We're in a 3D world in a 2D software, and I don't know how the heck to get it back to normal. What if I click this thing? I call it the pan of doom because I don't know how to get it back to normal, and Control Z doesn't work. Oh, it does. Okay then. Last time I tried it, it didn't work. So I had to close everything down and just restart it again. Well, it worked that time. Pan of doom. Alright, Control Z, Control Z, Control. See that? It's not working. It's not working. What on earth? How do I get it back to normal? Oh my. Ugh. I told you, I don't know how to get it back to normal. The first time was just a fluke. The first time was just a... Oh, I'm gonna have to restart this. Okay, we're back to normal. Do not hold shift and pan around. You will regret it if you haven't saved your work. Okay, the next extremely useful things we're gonna learn are, we've been through snap, and if your snap's not working, you can turn it on and off from here. You have your grid over here. You have a normal snap and an object snap. I'm not gonna pretend to know what that means. And on a drawing paper, you use a 30° by 60° triangle, where you can create that setting in here. So this is 30°. That's your 60°. That's our triangle. Now, how did I get those guidelines to show up? You just come over here to O track. Or polar rather. It's your polar tracking. Right click it and just choose the angle you want to enable. If you want 45° angles, well, you can have 45° angles. There you go. 45 degrees. If you hover over this and just drag it carefully to the right, you will have your guidelines help you set out your lines perfectly. So polar tracking, you can set a custom angle. All you have to do is enter the angle here. So I'm gonna type 17.5, and now my guideline should, there we are, 17.5 degrees, 35 degrees, multiples of 17.5. Okay, you will find that extremely useful. I'll show you the trick with the circle as well. So when you draw a circle and you're trying to search the middle, sometimes this middle won't show up. The middle won't show up. Let's see if we can make that happen. So if I draw a circle there, If I grab a line and quickly get in there. Right, you can't see where you're snapping to the middle. So if you hover your mouse over to the edge, you'll see the middle. Then you can snap to it. And also set whatever angles you want and snap to them. If you enable ortho mode, your line is gonna be stuck in 90 degrees and you won't be able to deviate from this. You won't be able to deviate from this. So if I try to draw a line here and I drag my mouse way out there, it's gonna stay there. Now you'll notice that this drawing here is made up of different line thicknesses and hatches. You can toggle line thicknesses here and turn them back on. And you can toggle hatches too, so you can see what it looks like without your hatches and put your hatches back in. Now when you want to make a custom line, you come up here to the properties bar and choose your settings. So you have color, red, you have the line type, I'll choose batting for now, and you have your line thickness, I'll pick the thickest one. Now I can click my line and draw a fat line. Yeah, that's a thick batting. How did I get my line to do that? If you want to load more line types, all you have to do is you can either type in line style, so go down to line type or line style, or you can go into format and click on style. You'll come to this screen and there's not very many choices here for your line types, but you can go into load line type up here, click it, go into NCAD ISO. I don't know what those two are, I haven't been in there. You can find out what they are in your own time. Hit open and you have all kinds of line types to choose from. Let's choose the gas line. Okay, and okay. One thing annoying about NanoCAD is when you click the line tool, you're stuck with your settings. You can't change the settings. So you have to press escape. You have to set the settings for your line before you click on the line tool to draw. I don't like that. I'm used to clicking the line first and then changing the settings. But whatever. The software is free, so I can't complain. Cyan, gas line, and we'll just pick a moderate 0.5. And I'll draw the line. Let's see what it looks like up close. So if I draw it a bit thinner, 0.2. There's your gas line. Let's load another line type. Format, style, load line type. NCAD ISO, open. Hidden. Let's choose hidden. Change this to hidden. And draw a cowboy. Okay, there's your line types. Now for hatchings. How did I get these hatches in here? First you need a closed loop. So draw a box. I'm going to use a normal line, not a hidden line. So just draw a box. You can use the box tool up here. I'm going to do it this way because I like to see these guidelines. Okay, and now you can type hatch, or you can, I think that's the hatch tool. Yeah, you can click hatch. And then it shows you this screen. So So from here, you can choose from this list. If you're really knowledgeable and you know what each one is, you can click it, but I prefer to see what I'm clicking. So let me just choose the color, and I can choose from here. I'm always drawing concrete, but we'll pick something different and special today. Honey. Let's pick honey. And you can set all your other settings here. Your scale. You can change these after you set down the hatch. Angle. And I normally use add pick points. So I'll show you what add select objects does as well, but if you select add pick points first, click somewhere in the middle of your shape, that'll highlight the whole shape. Then you hit enter on your keyboard, and for some reason you have to approve of this and say okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. There's your hatch. If you draw a square using this, that's an object. See, these are lines. And that's an object. So let's try drawing a hatch in that object. I typed in hatch and select objects, selecting the object, enter, and okay, there's our hatch again. Okay, another useful tip which you're gonna learn is that you'll notice that when you're dragging your mouse, if you click somewhere and drag your mouse to the right, it'll be blue, a blue selection box. And if you drag your mouse over to the left, it's a green selection box. The difference between the two is that whatever the green one touches, it will highlight all of it. Everything the green one touches will be highlighted fully. But the blue one, it has to completely engulf one object. So I'm not engulfing any of them, and then now I'm covering this top line here. So it will only select that top line and nothing else. Selects everything, only selects whatever's covered fully by the box. So let's see if we can select this one here. There we go. Only that one selected.